Good morning. A little green tea to start the morning with you. How are you doing on this fabulous, fabulous Tuesday morning, January 23rd? Wow. The month is galloping on its way. And where are you today? Good morning, Loretta. You are number one. Wow. Thank you for coming. Good morning. Press that button and dislodge that view thing. It is a beautiful morning. It is an amazing morning. Yes, here we are. So today I am having green tea. I had coffee, I had collagen coffee and coconut cream, coconut oil in it, and there you are. So you are the only one here, Loretta. So take what you can get from it before anybody else comes. Good morning. How are you feeling today? I am feeling absolutely amazing. And how is my dear cousin feeling? I can imagine he must be saying, here she is. She chases me to Dominica and she has to be screaming in my ear when I'm trying to snooze into the morning or pray. Here I am. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock. The morning blessings for today. The cure for guilt. I know this is really something that a lot of people do not take into consideration, right? The cure for guilt. Now, why would there be a cure for guilt? I feel guilty. And I'm saying there is a cure so you do not have to have the feeling from the past into the present. That's the thing about guilt. Guilt is something that shows up whether you are aware that you're dragging it into you or not. Because guilt comes. Listen to what I said. Guilt comes because there was something or someone who needed your attention and you chose to ignore it or did not do it. And that is the beginning of guilt. So, you're getting it all for yourself today, sweet pea pie. So here you are. You're looking at a situation from the past and you're saying, if I had done this, I wouldn't be in this situation today. Or I shouldn't have done this. That is guilt. But the thing is that God told us that we cannot go back and fix the guilt from the past. We know that. All of us know that. But we let the guilt from the past, good morning, Nadi, affects our today, it affects our future. The cure for guilt, how you get guilt out of you. Guilt comes because there was something or someone who needed our attention and we chose to ignore it or did not do it at the time. Guilt is the precursor to regret. Where guilt sleeps, right next to guilt, something grows, and that thing is regret. Because when you feel guilty, that is when you create the regret to come into your life. When you feel guilty. And that is when you give guilty that amazing time to show up and demand of you this or that. And that is how it goes. But we have to understand that guilt is in the past. And how you avoid guilt is what you do now. You know better now. Now you know better. The cloud has gone, you can see better now. So you understand what guilt is. Guilt has only one thing that can destroy it before it settles in for the rest of your life. That thing is a stern warning. I wonder what that is. Both of you that are here needs this. I know that. Your children or people in your life. Guilt responds to the one thing when it hears it, it cringes. It goes, that is guilt. When it hears this amazing thing, and this is how you stop guilt. We do it with our kids. We do it in situations. We go 5, 4, 3, 2, and by the time you come to 1, the children straighten out. You say, you know what, Tristan? You know what, Angel? You know what, Cruz? Even Sage. You say, listen, if you do not stop that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're going to get it. And guess what? They suddenly stop. That doesn't mean they stop right away and they don't start again. The minute they think your eyes off the ball, off them, and you're concentrating on something in the kitchen you're cooking, guess what they do? They start up again, and you have to go 5, 4, and before you could say, come to, everybody's at attention. So why am I telling you this? Why am I bringing this up to you right now? Tell me. What is it that is causing me to tell you that right in this moment? You're wondering why. You see, when you have something to do and your mind or something else is keeping you away from doing it, or you're saying, you know what, I'm not going to do this now, I'll do it later. You know what, I'm not in the mood to do this. And you know it's important. You know if you do it that there are things that will happen in your life. You know that. I know you know that. And the question you're asking yourself is this. Should I do that? You know what? I don't feel like doing it. I really don't feel. You ask the question, you answer the question. I don't want to do it. But on the other side of it is you do it, there is success. That is what I call the slight edge. That is what I say is when you have something to do, you have to do it. Good morning, Ryan. The thing about all of this is the cure for guilt is exactly what we say to the children. When you want them to stop doing something, you say to them, listen, if I have to count to 5, you're going to get it. Some of them know already, but when they don't, you go 5, 4, 3, and before you could get 2, they, okay, daddy, okay, mommy, and they get in line. But the second you're off it again, they do it again. So what do you have to do? You keep repeating it and repeating it until they realize when you start with 5, when you look at them and you say 5, everybody is lined up. And that is what is important. I say that guilt comes because there was something or someone who needed our attention and we chose to ignore it or did not do it. That is where guilt starts. Guilt is the precursor to regret. Where guilt slips right next to guilt, something grows, and that thing is regret. Guilt has only one thing that can destroy it before it settles in for the rest of our life. That thing is a stern warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is what guilt understands. Guilt responds to this one thing. It cringes when it hears 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When it hears this, it goes. The moment guilt hears this, it shows up. It just shuts up. It goes, okay, I'm done. So as an adult, I told you what you did as a child with your children, or what you will do with children. But as you, the adult, how do you do the thing you know that you're supposed to do? And in the moment, you are not doing it. And you have an excuse. You have this excuse. I'm not doing it because, you know what, this thing is so hard. I'm tired. I've been pushing on it. I've been trying. I worked so hard and I didn't get the results I was looking for. And this is that. And no matter how hard I try, I cannot get rid of the debt. And you take off the credit card and you swipe it again. Or you eat that extra cookie. Or you go and you do something that you know that is not going to help you to get where you desire to go. So I like those days when I have people that needs to learn something here with me. I love it when I have a crowd of 3. It's a crowd of 3. Because the only reason there's only 3 of you compared to 22 people going through their lives by 8:30 is because one of you need to know that. Or one of you need to tell somebody about it. Or one of you need to hear the rest of it. You need to apply it somewhere in your life. And listen intently. Take the time to listen to this. You see, when you know that you must do this or that, or behave this way or that way, and you do not feel like doing it, challenge yourself. treat yourself like that child that you can discipline. You know what you do? You are lying in bed and you know you have to get up at 5, or you know you have to get up at 3:30, or you know you have to get up at 6 or 2, whatever time you know you have to get up. And yes, the body is saying, oh, just take another snooze. And sometimes you do. You press that button that says snooze. And once you press that snooze button, the body is happy. Hello, Yuko, good morning. How are you feeling today? Today we have a little crowd, but that little crowd is getting a great message. The cure for guilt. So I know Yuko knows she has to get up early, and so does Ryan, and so does Loretta. Although you guys know Loretta is retired, and Maddie gets up at 2, so she has to get up to go to work. But do you think that me that gets up at 4:15 every day, that I want to get up at 4:15? No. I have to say to myself, if you do not get out of that bed, you will see what I can do with you. And that is when I use what the children, you do with the children. I go 5, 4, 3, 2. And before I get to 1, I am up out of the bed. Because if I do not do that, I will feel guilty when I am rushing to get things done so I can be here for 8. I will regret it in so many ways, because when guilt settles in, like I said, guilt is the precursor to regret. Where guilt sleeps, right next to guilt, something grows, and that thing is called regret. You see, guilt will lie down in the bed and not move. And then I will be rushing. You know, you have to get into the tub, you have to get into the shower, you have to make a coffee, you have to end up doing something, and you're not in there because you know you're late, you're rushing because of that. Guess what? Something can happen. I found out, I used to tell my grandson stories when he visited me when he was little, always made up stories to him. And I found out, even at 14, he remembers those stories. One of the stories was rather simple, but it was for a little boy. I told him a story about a husband and a wife. He built her a house on the edge of the forest. It was all white, but she wanted a white picket fence. And he wouldn't build the picket fence. Her name was Daisy, his name was Archibald. And all of you from the Caribbean, his last name was Soursop. So get a laugh on that. So anyway, he took off and he said he's not doing it. So she got angry. She woke up one morning, she made her breakfast, she decided, I'm going to get a job in the city. And she cleaned the kitchen and left. He got up expecting breakfast. He couldn't smell bacon, nothing is cooking. He got up and he goes looking for her. When he realized she's nowhere, he decided he'll make his own coffee. It's not, the story doesn't really lead to that, but the coffee part is he didn't know how to use the percolator. So he put the water where the coffee beans go, the coffee goes, and the coffee where the water goes. So naturally, water is sipping, and he's getting anxious, and he slipped, he fell, he hit his head, and he ended up with an egg on his head. So anyway, what I'm saying is that he didn't know. That's what guilt can do for you. So you're rushing to get into the bathtub and you just put your feet and you slide. You're rushing in the kitchen and you can do that. You can be rushing and put the water where the coffee is and the coffee where the water is. Only because you chose not to wake up on time. You chose that moment and you said in the moment, at that moment you say, you know what? I'm just going to take a little snooze. When you catch yourself, your snooze was an hour later. Can you imagine with all the things I like to do, that I wake up at 5:15 instead of 4:15, I would be slip sliding away all the way through every action. Rushing to get downstairs, rushing to do this, end up on the stairs. Regret will cause me to hurt myself because guilt, I am guilty of that. I did not realize that doing what I'm supposed to do and I don't do it, will make me feel guilty. I should have. And you know what? And then the minute guilt comes in, years later, its friends wake up sitting right next to it, and the friend name is regret. Do not feel guilty. When you have to do something, before you get guilt, do it right away. You plan to do it, and something has come in your way. That is not the time to look at it and say, I'm not doing this because, and you always have a because I need to do that first. Okay, you know what? I really don't want to do it. I don't like doing it. I'm just going to cancel it. I'm not going to go. Sometimes, think about it. I don't want to go to the dentist because really I hate the dentist. You hear people saying that. But what does that create? You will feel guilty when your teeth, you have a root canal that the dentist said, I cannot do a root canal on this. It is too badly damaged. We need to pull that tooth out. And then you feel guilty. I should have gone to the dentist. This is not regret yet. Regret will come when you cannot chew. Or when the other teeth in your mouth, the other, how many we have in there, is starting to ache. And that is how guilt, you will feel guilty that you didn't do it. And then, because you cannot function now, that guilt will turn to regret. But the thing is, you cannot keep carrying that guilt into your future, into the present moment. Let me tell you, to stop it, you use 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. Because the children will move when you do that. So right away, guilt takes off. And you jump out of bed, you go do what you have to do on time. And yes, you're tired, you're exhausted, everything hurts, even your hair hurts. But that is not the answer to all of this though. You have to believe that what happened, I would imagine guilt is so heavy. Guilt is heavy. Because when guilt slips next to you, it grows and it becomes regret. It's like a fungi. It just starts to take. It's a parasite. It doesn't let go. The cure for guilt is to do it now. That is the cure for guilt. Hi, Riri. Guilt is something you have to do now. Good morning, Riri. How are you feeling today? Because if you do not take care of guilt in the moment, it will turn to regret. And regret will come through you all through your life. Like I said, you do not like to go to the dentist, but you know you have to go to the dentist. Why keep putting it off until your teeth is hurting? Then I feel so guilty, I should have done that. Then the dentist tells you need to pull the tooth out. Then you realize you cannot chew. Then you are inconvenienced. You cannot do this, you cannot do that because you have a toothache, you have a headache, it causes your eye to hurt. It just goes on and on. Treat yourself when yourself doesn't want to behave like an adult. Treat yourself like a child. Hey, get yourself out of this bed, phone the dentist, make the 6 months appointment. You need to go once or twice a year, or when you're a senior citizen in Canada, you get to go 4 times or 3 times a year. Just do it. Count and say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move. Like you do with the kids. Because really, when you're not doing what you know you're supposed to do, you're a child. You're behaving like a child. And the results are never good. How many times have you taken, I'll just snooze for 9 minutes. The next thing you know, when you wake up, it's an hour. And you see these people in their cars putting on their makeup and their lipstick and combing their hair and plucking their beard and whatever they're doing because they are rushing. I always say, go slow so you can get there faster. Because if you're going fast, you'll be forced to slow down. So remember, whatever you are doing, the cure for feeling guilty when the action wasn't taken at the appropriate time is to do it in the appropriate time. When you do that, you see, when you know that you must do this or that and behave this way, and that you do not feel like doing it, challenge yourself. Say to yourself, you got to do this. Now take the determination further. You count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to you, and you say, move, Tessa-Marie, get out of bed. Take a clean action. Treat yourself like a toddler because you're behaving like a toddler in the moment. You will be better for it because you will not feel guilty, which guilt leads to regret. Because I not getting up at 4:15 means that I am not going to be ready for 8 o'clock, that I'm not there. I didn't plan it. I had the time, the clock. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this to ourselves as adults? What it is we need to do to fix this. We need to take charge of our life and realize that if we do not take action, when we have to, we will feel guilty. And when we feel guilty, we will always have regret. They are together. To avoid it, take the action now. Do it. Just get on it. And that is easy to say, you think, but I feel that way at 4:15 some days. Even if I have a full 8 hours of sleep, sometimes your body just wants to stay there. Or is it your body? Or is just something else that says, is that the subconscious mind that says, oh, I feel so good, I would just like to sit there and smooch a little bit longer. We cannot do that. If you are looking to aim at success, no matter what you're doing in your life, whether you want to be a successful entrepreneur, whether you're going to be a successful salesperson, a successful video editor, and you have editing to do in a video, do it. If you have to study, study. If you have to lose weight, take action. If you have to decide to cook early, prepare meals for your family, do this, do that, take action in the moment, right now. Because the decisions we make today will determine the life we live tomorrow. You do not have to be so late that you gallop through it. You just gallop through it. Yes, I practice my night routine, and it's called night practices. I do my night practice every night. Every night. I make sure I am on it. If I do not do my night practices, then I will not get to bed at the appropriate time to go to sleep. If I do not sit down and write my 5 things I am grateful for that happened today, and I'm not saying just go work and while you're cleaning the floor, I'm so grateful I had a good day. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about writing how it felt. Like yesterday, my most favorite thing to do, because everybody thinks my most favorite thing to do is speaking. But you know what is my most favorite thing to do? Number 1 is writing. I love creating stories in writing them out. I love reading in that order. And I love speaking and helping others and encouraging others. And it's not that I'm forcing you to follow me. I have a feast. I invite you to the table. And you might like the curry goat, or you might like the chicken, or you might like the sushi. But the point is, it's a feast. It's up to you to choose what it is I am putting at the table. Not telling you to take it. Not forcing you to have it. Telling you it's available. But so I love to write. So every day I must. And if I find that some days, of course, I don't feel like it, although I love it. I love it so much that my imagination can just grow. It's amazing. Even I am shocked sometimes what I come up with. And yet, there are times I have to say, Tessa-Marie, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, put your ass down and work. I actually have to say to myself like that, get going. You know you will not be happy if you do not write today. That thought will make you feel guilty for the rest of the day, right into your time to go to bed. So you know you have to be grateful. Begin. Take your time at night and write. Even you get a book, write. You have the ability to write. You have a hand, you have a pencil, you have a book, you have yourself. Write. I am so happy and grateful that today I was able to do this and that and talk about it. Make it great. Tomorrow, and then you go, you look for things. I am so happy and grateful I can put my socks on. It feels so good to be able to put my shoes on. Or, I am not saying to compare yourself to somebody who can't do that for themselves. I'm saying be happy and grateful you have the ability to do it for you. And that is what matters. So it doesn't matter what's going on. You have to do what you have to do in the moment. And that is the cure for feeling guilty. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, I'm going to do sit. And do it. It's not doing it for 5 hours at a time, 1 hour at a time. That might be too much. I do not write for half an hour at a time. My watch is set for 15 minutes. I get ready, and as soon as my fingers hit the keys, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Sometimes I am in the flow and I can write for an hour. So I just keep pressing 15 minutes. And if the flow continues, I allow it to continue. But if I feel that there are other things, I do the 15 required minute. It's not the quantity of time you spend doing something that makes the difference. It's the quality of time you put into doing it so that you do not suffer from guilt. Guilt will keep you in the past. You cannot go forward if all you're thinking about is what you did not do yesterday. And eventually, it will affect you. And you will be the storyteller with your knees crossed, your feet crossed at your knees, your eyes deep into the distant, and you are in the present moment telling a person, maybe younger than you, the perils of not taking actions. Here I am. I'm an old woman and I'm an old man. And I chose to be frightened of the new things, and I wanted to sleep through it. I didn't. And today, I regret it. Because this guilt is the precursor to regret. Inaction is the beginning of guilt. If there is something you have to do today, step into today. And make sure you do the today's thing right away. And if you're having difficulty, treat yourself like a toddler. If I have to come here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And people will match. And you do that for yourself. Because you have to decide, what are you looking for? You might not be looking, as I said, to be an entrepreneur, to be all of those things. You might just be looking to be able to sit in satisfaction and comfort in a chair and say to yourself, well done, good and faithful servant. Well done. I did my best today. I did all the things I knew I had to do. I woke up on time today. That started my day. I wrote in my gratitude journal and I did all of my nighttime practices. And the last thing you say before you're going to you're falling asleep as you're lying in bed. Tomorrow, I am going to wake up fired up and ready to go. If you're not fired up and ready to go, guess what? You're going to be sluggish. Do we need to go there? Do we need to go to the sluggish person? Get up. After about 5 to 10 minutes of that sluggishness, you will be able to you'll feel energized. I drink water instantly. And I know the more I drink and the faster I drink it, the more energized I feel right away. Sometimes I will put some lotion or some scent that I like in my hand and inhale it to wake me up. It might be the perfume, it might be a hand cream, it might be something in the form of a lotion or liquid. And you take it in. You have a whole day and you need to do your best with the day. It's not the quantity of time you spend doing something that makes the difference. It's the consistency of doing it properly in tiny steps that makes the difference. We have to remember that guilt is the precursor. Hello, I am the precursor to regret. Where do you want to be with this? Where do you want to go with this? So when your body is telling you lie down in the bed a little longer, treat yourself like a toddler. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. Drink your glass of water. Because last night when you were doing your nighttime practices, you put a glass of water or 2 or more at your bedside. That is to wake you up, get you ready, fired up and ready to go. Make sure you choose to do that. So guys, I am happy and grateful that I had the honor and the privilege to have such a special group of people there this morning. It was important for me to see those of you that were here because I know you well. Those of you that came, I know you well. And I know that you needed to hear this. And I know you can apply it to your life immediately. So step on it and do your best. Today is a brand new day to avoid feeling guilty and letting guilt grow until it becomes regret. Let us look at what the comments that you made. I know Yuko was making comments. She said, feeling wonderful. I would imagine guilt is heavy. Guilt is so heavy. Agreed. To wake up early is to sleep early. I practice night routine. It's amazing. Love reading. I wake up early because of that. I do too. It's wonderful feeling to complete my morning routine. It is. And that is something we should all do. So guys, thank you for visiting and stopping today. And Yuko, thank you. Loretta, Riri, Ryan, thank you for hanging on. It has been an amazing opportunity to give you guys that. As I said, it's a feast. And there are different types of foods at a table. You choose what it is you want to eat today. And do your best in all you do. Have an amazing and fabulous day. Talk to you again. Love you. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks, Yuko. Great life. Thank you, Yuko.